The game of the movie of the game.
Correct.
No, I stopped there.
Stop there. That's what it is. That's what this is.
I stopped there. Ratchet and Clank, Adam Cook. It's been a while. Really, since we've had like a proper actual Ratchet. Like, there's been a couple of weird kind of side sort of, like, there was the 4-player co-op one.
There was one on PS3 towards the end of its life that was actually very good, and I liked it anyway. But then, see, this is the thing, Colm, right? This is the new PS4 one we're talking about, which is kind of a reboot of the very first game, and there's a movie coming out of it as well. Do you like the Ratchet and Clank games?
I do like the Ratchet and Clank games, yes.
A lot, or just a bit? Because I like them a lot. Go on. Do you like them a lot, or just a bit?
I mean,
semantics.
I like them.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So I really like them. I think there's a flow to the movement and combat that I actually don't think is in many other games. Sorry, of that type. I should say that there's plenty of games with great flow and movement and blah blah blah. But there's something about as Ratchet switching between hitting them with your spanner or your Ratchet, and then switching to basically a third-person shooter and shooting things, and like because you're shooting things, but you can also then do that jump thing. He does the strafe jump and still be shooting, and the platforming itself. There's something about it that it really connects with me. And I just really like the way it feels. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is it, like you say that, yes, it is a kind of a reboot, but there's also a film coming out. So is there instances of, like, it's essentially the first game, but is there any little add-ons that are kind of film-centric?
There's two things I'll touch on here. First of all is that I've always found the Ratchet and Clank games to be quite funny. Not like funny like I'm sat in an audience watching a comedian and I'm pissing myself, my sides are hurting, I'm laughing so much, but funny as in a little chuckle, a wry smile.
I think they're generally quite well written.
I mean, even the titles, like Up Your Arsenal, I like that stuff.
They're very kind of carry-on film, kind of like that stuff. Like Up Your Arsenal and Quest for Booty and.
Yeah, I mean, there's even the character names. Oh Jesus, I've forgotten the character name, but it's something like Skid McMarks, and it's like I think I think he was in the original. I'm sure he would be because this is a remake, reboot, whatever. But it's. I think the writing's quite funny, like and it plays into the second thing I was going to say is that this version. I've played about 2-3 hours, maybe a bit more. I can't actually remember. It's one of those games I lose myself to quite easily. Probably more now I think about it. It's quite self-aware in a good way. In the way that you can tell Insomniac realizes that it is a remake of. Sorry, or it is the game of the movie of the game. This is a game that first this story came out on PS2. It's an old story, and it's also a visual showcase in a lot of ways because of the art style, because it's a game that looks like CGI in motion, like the Ratchet and Clank games have always looked very, very pretty. And I'm going to be careful what I say because I don't want to spoil too much, but there is a knowing nod now and again, like there is one character you meet and the dialogue literally goes, well anyway, he says something, I'm paraphrasing, he says something like, I'll see you later and I'll see you in the next reboot, and like then Ratchet looks at him like, what? And it's a knowing nod, and I find that sort of stuff quite amusing and funny.
It's kind of, I suppose, Ratchet and Clank, the series as a whole. It was at a time when, I suppose even to a degree, it was at a time when like 3D platformers weren't even as, it was kind of more like today really. Like it wasn't the glory days of 3D platformers, but Ratchet and Clank kind of stood out from the crowd in that vein because of stuff like the weapon customization, and they're fucking very, very good games. But really like it's kind of, this is interesting because the 3D platformer space, like whatever it was on PS2, on fucking PlayStation 4, I mean it's non-existent.
Well, on any of the consoles, like, it's not something that's got a. It's barely a genre anymore because no one does it. Like, you got ukulele, and I'm trying to think of another game and I can't.
Which again, ukulele in a similar way, like it's you're taking, it's kind of like a throwback, like it's the remnants of Rare.
It is.
So like is there anything here for your I know, like even some of the younger members on team.
Yeah, I think there's something here for anyone so far from what I've played, because I really enjoy the game. It's, as I say, it's got a real nice ebb and flow to it. It just goes, and then when you clear out an area and you calm it down and you bring up the map, look around, and you find there's a secret, and you're like, right, I'm going to go off and explore, and you do that, and it's yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to describe why, but I just find these games satisfying, and it's maybe because there aren't so many of them. I mean, it's very similar to that PS3 game. I wish I could remember the damn name of it. I remember previewing it as well, actually, on PS3. And
what was it about?
Well, they're all kind of about the same thing, aren't they? Like saving the world. But
sorry, I thought you were saying it was a different.
No, the last one of these. I mean, and it's got some new stuff. Like it's still got it's even though it's kind of the reboot, it's got a lot of the more modern things. That's why it reminds me of the last one so much, and it's added, I think they're called holo cards that are collectibles, and it's got the weapon management from the more recent ones, and it's got the leveling up of the weapons where you surround the grid by unlocking each one with rare titanium, and then it will give you a bonus. And the holo cards that you collect also play into that upgrade system. Like if you collect, so there's three holo cards that are related to the Ratchet and Clank wrench, and as you look at them, it will say like this is what this wrench is called, and it first appeared in Ratchet and Clank 2002 or whatever. And when you get all three of that series of cards, they'll unlock a bonus that gives you like 10% stronger Ratchet.
I like that.
So do I. I like that a lot. I don't know. I find that Ratchet and Clank is a series that never seems to get the plaudits it deserves.
And I was going to ask you, is this so to you? It doesn't seem old. It doesn't seem dated at all.
But I don't really think. I know towards. Well, it's weird to say towards the end, because like it's not the end, because there's another one like literally in April. This one, in fact, that we're talking about. But towards the end of the PS3, it felt like there was a lot of them suddenly, like the All For One game, which was some sort of co-op thing. Then
I remember playing that and thinking it wasn't.
It wasn't great. No, it wasn't. And there was a few of them that sort of came out, and it felt like they were trying to do more with it, but then they stopped.
Yes.
And now this is back again, and I feel like if you didn't have a PS3 and you were an Xbox player, I feel like you're going to come to this because a lot of people have jumped from Xbox to PS4. I feel like people are going to play this, and I think it will feel very fresh, because I don't think, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong here, but I don't think there's an awful lot like it on the market at the moment. Yes, it's a third-person shooter in places, but it's also a platformer. It's got rudimentary melee, I suppose, with the Ratchet, but generally speaking, it's a sort of action platformer,
Yeah, no. As we said, like it's kind of a dead genre, as it were. So like to actually see, like, for a lot of people, this will be very fresh. For people that weren't kind of playing games at the time when Ratchet and Clank, when it was originally around, this probably will be pretty fresh. But I suppose we'll see more of that closer to April.
The one thing I would say then, just to finish up, is that what it's done is exactly what the last preview build of the Ratchet and Clank games I played did. Is that I finished it, what was available for me to play, and I really, really want to play the final version and just sit down and enjoy it, because the thing about we haven't really touched on actually is how gorgeous it looks. Like it's a rare thing. It's just colourful, vibrant. Like you just look at it and you're like, that looks lovely, and it does. It really, really looks lovely. But it's of a style where you maybe don't realise how good it looks until you see a vista or something, and you pan the camera and you go, wow. They really this is brilliant, But it's coming soon, and I really like it so far. I can't wait I just want to sit down with the final build and just play it.
Well, what else is lovely is when people donate to God is a Geek's Patreon at patreon.com/God is a Geek. If you give us a couple of your hard-earned American dollars, or British sterling, or European euro, we'll take whatever we're given. Dubai dirhams, it doesn't really matter. It would be wonderful, and then you'll get like an extended podcast and early videos and whatnot. But yeah, as you say, Ratchet and Clank out closer to April, and Adam Cook will all be upping your arsenal or something. I don't know. Up Adam's arse is actually the subtitle.
That's the subtitle of this one. Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank up Adam's arse.
Just for me, and it is specifically me that they're referring to with that. Bye bye.
should have backed the God is a Geek Patreon.